From LALATE News headquarters in Santa Monica, this is Mornings LALATE.
It's a big morning of Mornings LA with incredible great news about your fourth stimulus check update of 2021, live and direct from Santa Monica, California. In this recording, we'll go over the Build Back Better Act, your fourth stimulus recon, and everything you need to know across the board with each of those checks, one at a time, one check by across the board. We'll go over everything you need to know about this incredible recon that will get passed in the Senate. Says the President of the United States in new comments today. The Senate changes that incredible recon will be robust, adding in a monthly IRS stimulus check, at least $2,000 the first month. How many checks thereafter coming up in this video? I'll go over the latest details. The big money in this recon already has $15,000 of multiple checks, and then there's already third stimulus repeated again under fourth stimulus. Wow. All the incredible details in today's recording. But we'll have new details about what happened with that major vote with the Senate rules changes and with the voting rights legislation. And new today on Mornings LA, we have a new man at issue for that recon. I'll explain what's going on. Student loan debt, again, is the latest details of that. Plus, for the stimulus, the latest details of that, 5.9%. But what's coming on with this stimulus right behind that across the board? We have new economic data covering up in this video. We have new promises from the White House to send out those checks. We have a new man at issue, which is really fascinating. A new series of reports out today that signals why the recon may not have been done right now, but how it can still get done, and where the modifications need to get done. It's brand new. It's happening in today's recording. Plus, we'll be turning to world financial news and how its impact on your wallet could be felt today and how you can predict it, and why one issue of diplomacy could impact your wallet at the supermarket in the next few days. All those incredible details coming up in a big morning's broadcast. The toast is toasting and the butter is buttering. I'm here, you're here, and the deliciousness with or without the bacon. I mean, you know, it's sort of a running bit. There's always no bacon. Comes up in today's recording. I'm excited you're here, and I'm excited you're with me, and the excitement starts right here as Mornings LA gets underway. Hey, good morning, everybody. Hope you're good and hope the good where you are. You're watching LA live on air, direct from Santa Monica on a Mornings LA, going into a big, bold, beautiful weekend. And we'll have a live broadcast at noontime as well with brand new shows across the board. The recon will pass, so says the White House, in a new series of comments, and the Senate changes will be robust, including the push to add in that monthly IRS stimulus check on top of the existing multiple checks, at least $15,000 across the board. Other brand new details about what has happened in the last 24 hours. $45,000 of checks proposed in that third stimulus recon, in that fourth stimulus recon that repeats for third stimulus, but you can get some of these checks today. Would you like thousands of dollars in your wallet? I think you do. It's coming up late in this video. Stay to the very end. Student loan debt forgiveness, the latest details on that. This stimulus and your impact on your wallet today with that new benefits check coming in the mail, 5.9% higher. I'll explain where it's going. Then we'll go over the brand new details of what's going on for the recon, what happened overnight, and a new series of events happening today. Those details and more coming up in a big recording. Stay to the very end because I have a lot of checks for you. But first, I want you to pause the incredible family, go into this video and subscribe. I want you to subscribe and be part of this channel. You're watching LA, the number 3 most watched financial news channel in America among broadcast, cable, and internet. Hit that subscribe button right now. Like the video, 2,000-3,000 likes everywhere like helps in the algorithm ranking. And consider becoming a member to get that incredible newsletter tonight at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. The membership link is under the video. Meantime, sign up for the LALATE alerts, totally free. The link to that is also under the description of this video today as well. In today's video, we're going to start first with those checks, the new comments, the guy at issue to get that recon done and why he may be at issue for why it hasn't been done as well. And then we're going to be turning to the excitement of what's happening over this weekend and where the money is going thereafter. Those incredible details starting right now. But first, let's go right into the checks. 3 classes of checks with 3 add-ons. And the checks so far have at least $15,000 of multiple checks in this fourth stimulus recon, aka the social spending bill, aka the Build Back Better Act. Let's go over each of these 3 clusters and 3 add-ons, starting with the first cluster. Hazard pay got in there. 1 more year, the earned income tax credit for my essential workers. Already started under third stimulus. For more details about it, go to irs.gov. $4,000 to care for elder people, and $4,000 to care for young children put in there as well. $12,500 for the purchase of a new electric vehicle in cluster number 1. $550 check for the Pell Grant for college students, and also $3,600 approximately for the CTC 1 year across the board additionally for that as well. The first add-on of checks comes from the illustrious Maxine Waters here from Southern California. She wanted to give you $25,000 for the purchase of a new electric vehicle, for the purchase of your first-time home, but she got a little bit less. You heard that right. This is money to buy your first home given to the seller by the U.S. government at the time of escrow. Wow. Let's turn to the second cluster of checks that got in there, home repairs and paid leave. Also in that second cluster check is the universal paid leave and the household tax credit. What is the paid leave? $1,700 a week if you make $70,000 or more per year. $35,000 a year annual salary, that's $800 a week. If you make $15,000 annual salary, it is $400 a week. How many weeks? Up to 4 weeks per year. And there's also an additional wonderful twist to it. If you don't work, but your son or daughter does, and they have to take off from work to take you to the doctor once a week, they're going to get the check for that paid leave as well. The home repairs is different in this cluster. The prior cluster is home repairs for low-income families. This cluster is home repairs to weatherize your home. That weatherizing is needed whenever there's a holiday. Whenever there's a holiday, you have to weatherize your home. And it's January, so there's a lot of holidays in January. There's Lobster Shorts Day this week. Next week is Lobster Fest. The week after that is Lobster Rama. The week after that is a lobster hairdo. Where do they celebrate these holidays? In the state of Kentucky. In the state of Kentucky. Where do they specifically celebrate them? In the senator's office in the state of Kentucky. Yeah, it's not a national holiday. It's just it's a Mitch McConnell holiday. That's why you need to weatherize your home. Let's go to the second cluster of checks, and wow, it's incredible. Actually, second add-on of checks. This comes from the illustrious Bob Casey. Joe Biden had a campaign promise, and Bob Casey got it in there. What is it? It is money for home health care and seniors on disabilities. They had proposed $250 billion. They got a little bit less, and it is absolutely incredible. Again, this is free money to provide free home health care for seniors and people on disabilities. Wow. Let's turn to the third cluster of checks, which is what we call deliciousness. Spelled DAHLIUSNESSSSSS. Here comes the deliciousness. In that third cluster, we have in there the money for seniors and the free internet. Let's go over each of these one at a time. First, universal pre-kindergarten. First, we got in there free checks for all. Cheaper prescription medication. We got in there tax breaks. We got in there the money for the farmers, the free internet, the money for the independent contractors, and the benefits for the seniors. The seniors is a benefits, not so much a check. 2 provisions on the House. They got in there. 3 would come from the Senate. On the House side, they got in there the hearing and the Medicaid gap fix. What is that? More about that in a second. The House side, the Senate side vows to add in there lowering the eligibility age of Medicare from 65 to 55, dental, and also vision. And the attempt by senators to add provisions in there is par for the course when we turn to that third cluster of checks. You know what that third cluster of checks is called? It's called MSC, and that's where we turn to right now. And when we go over MSC right now, we're going to go over, first, what is it? Then we're going to go over who gets it. Then we're going to go over how they get it. We can go over the voting process, and we'll go over everything you need to know about it, starting right now. First, what is MSC? It's an acronym used on this channel to describe an instrument added to the fourth stimulus recon that is different than the other ones. It stands for monthly or multiple IRS stimulus check. The reason why we use MSC is because there are multiple checks already in this fourth stimulus recon also called the Social Spending Bill, also called the Build Back Better Act. And so I don't want you to get confused. There are currently multiple checks in there, but this is a separate instrument where monthly checks would be sent out from IRS. Okay, now we understand what it is. Who gets it? Let's go over the eligibility. Legislators, senators have told tens of thousands of viewers of this channel since May of last year who the eligibility would lie with. And the eligibility would be the same as a third stimulus check. So let's go over that right now. Single individuals, $75,000 or less annual income, you would get it. Married couple, $150,000 or less annual income, you would get it. Double it. If you're on benefits, SSI, SSDI, Social Security Railroad benefits, you would get it as well. Family of four, you would get it. Quadruple it. All right, let's go over some of the nuances of it. Is it income? It's not income. It's not taxable. Is it state by state? It is not. It is nationwide, sent out by the federal government, by IRS. So don't worry if you don't like your state governor. He is not part of the equation. This is sent out by IRS across the board. And does this replace anything else in the recon? No, it is an add-on across the land. All right, now you know what it is. You know the eligibility. Let's go over the amount. The legislators have told thousands of viewers, tens of thousands of viewers, this would be the calculation. $2,000 the first month, $1,000 thereafter, for up to 6 months. All right, now let's go to the more fascinating and a little bit confusing part of the equation. Where is it? How are we in the path to getting it done? Where is the voting process of it? And how will it get done? And let's go over all those details starting right now. First, the legislation, the Build Back Better Act for stimulus recon, was passed in the House of Representatives in the month of November, sent to the Senate. The Senate has never made its changes to the body of legislation because that opportunity did not occur yet. I equate this by analogy to the Monaco Grand Prix. Let's imagine you're driving your car in the Monaco Grand Prix, and the announcer goes on air, pull over to the side of the road. The race is put on hold mode. So it doesn't mean the race has ended. It doesn't mean it's been canceled. It doesn't mean you're going to reverse or backwards. It doesn't mean you're pulled to the side of the road. The senators are different people than the House members. The senators look at a law as, I have to make changes. And the House members, they have to make changes. So the senators, they haven't made their changes yet. More about that why in a second. Ron Wyden, out of Oregon. Liz Warren, out of Massachusetts. Bernie Sanders, out of Vermont. Chuck Schumer, out of New York, have all said they have provisions to add into this incredible recon. That event has not occurred yet. All right, let me explain to you why it has not occurred yet. Because there's a lot of very confusing, complicated steps they're trying to go through. Doesn't mean they're dragging their feet. Doesn't mean they've forgotten about you. Doesn't mean they don't care. They have to do a lot of steps. Now, among those steps was the attempt this last 24 hours ago to get the voting rights legislation passed. It did not pass. And to get the Senate rules changed. They did not get changed. To make it easier to get the forced stimulus recon done. It did not happen. So that doesn't mean the recon's not happening. It just, that attempt to do it that way did not get passed. So we're still back on point across the recon. The number one guy for the White House, the President of the United States, his press secretary, his spokesperson issued a statement in the last, I think it was 3 days, who said the recon will get done. Andrew Bates, his quote has been around the channel for the last few days, and he says the recon will get done. Very, very important. But after the commercial break, I'll explain to you something brand new. It's brand new today. And it talks about one guy that may be to blame about why that recon has not gotten done just yet. It's brand new. It's front page news in some print media today, and I have it for you after the commercial break. Now, let's go to advocacy. Advocacy for forced stimulus recon is so important. It's a little bit different now that we're in January for a series of reasons. First, these legislators are absolutely wonderful human beings. So when we talk about Bernie from Vermont or Liz from Massachusetts or Chuck from New York, they're not elected, or at least the way they do their business, is they don't just represent those states. They represent all of you. So they love hearing from you. But they don't know you need something unless you tell them. And they need to be reminded, but they don't need to be reminded every single day. Where we are right today. In the next 10 minutes, 15 minutes, they're not voting on the recon. So you don't have to flood their phone banks in the next 2 hours. But call once a week. Remind them that you need it. And if you spoke to a staffer before and you remember their name, say, hi, it's me again. I want to update you again. I really still need it. Whatever in the recon you want a lot, Tell them, I need it. Whether it's the first-time home purchases or the MSC, whatever you really need. Business, your financial reason, your social, economic reason. Maybe you got Omicron. Maybe your husband got Omicron. Tell them why you need it. They need to be reminded because they don't know. If they heard a lot from you in September but haven't heard anything in January, they may think they don't need it anymore. They're in a much better circumstance. So they need to be reminded. Make a phone call once a week. And who do you advocate to? You advocate to the 6 senators. They're absolutely wonderful human beings because they really represent the American people as a whole, not just their state. They're elected out of their state, but they have helped so many people. So who are they? Let's go over their names right now. And they are Casey, Coons, Warren, Wyden, Sanders, and Schumer. Pick up the phone once a week, talk to their staff, and say, I need to tell you why I need it. Whatever it is in this recon you really like. Casey, Coons, Warren, Wyden, Sanders, and Schumer. Couple parts of that equation I want to go over right now. First, when you talk to a staffer, you're telling them why you need it. Do not, repeat, do not ask the staffer, is it in there? Why? Because the there does not exist. We have an emoji for this. Not bill yet. It's important to understand that even though the House of Representatives passed a bill, the senators don't have their version of the bill even worked upon yet. The reason why is a lot of dramatic, confusing nuances of this before that and this before that. So if you're asking a staffer, is it in there? The answer is there is no there. So do not ask that question. You're on the front porch, the neighbor says it's not in there. The response is there is no there yet. They don't have the bill written right. So let's go over when they would have the bill. Let's explain that situation part right now. When you're sitting on the side of the road on the Monaco Grand Prix, at some point the announcer's going to come on air. Okay, you can restart your engines. We're going into the Senate subcommittee. The Senate subcommittee? Yeah, the Senate subcommittee is when they would start working on adding stuff in there. Bernie, Liz, Ron, Chuck, they all have stuff to add in there. MSC, whatever it is, they have a lot of stuff to add in there. That event would happen. Then they call it to a Senate floor for vote. Then they have a 2-day vote-a-rama. Understand. It's not so much they're dragging their feet. They're not dragging their feet. Not so much that they don't care about you. They do care about you. Not so much that they've forgotten about you. Not at all. There's a lot of dramatic nuances. I try to cover as much as I can without complicating or confusing you about how to get from point A to point B, and all these dramatics are heating up. After the commercial break, I'm going to go over a new series of quotes out in the last few hours that signals why the recon may not have been done yet. It's brand new on Mornings LA, live on air. After the commercial break, we'll also go over each of these incredible checks, this incredible recon, the great comments on the White House to get that recon done, and the big sums of money, lots of it, upwards of $45,000 repeated on the third stimulus, the existing money of $15,000, the MSCs of about $6,000, $7,000 on top of that, bringing it to about $60,000 plus in this fourth stimulus recon. We'll go over each of those checks one at a time. Then we'll turn to student loan debt forgiveness, fifth stimulus, your COLA raise, a world event that can impact your wallet, and how to gauge inflation ahead of time to be prepared for the costs of things like groceries when they happen. All those incredible details coming up in the second half of this video. A lot of money, a lot of checks for you to get even this week. Stay with me to the very end. It's Mornings LA. It's continuing. It's live on air. It's direct from Santa Monica, California, and I'll be back with you in 60 seconds. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on Mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues right now as Morning LA continues live from Santa Monica, California on a big, bold, beautiful weekend. And we'll be next live at noontime as well. We got brand new shows throughout the day with afternoons brand new at 3 o'clock, evenings LA brand new at 5 o'clock, and shows brand new on Saturday and Sunday across the board. That incredible recon will get passed, and I have new comments from the White House assuring us across the board. The Senate changes will be robust. We'll go over each of those checks one at a time. We'll go over the big programs that are already in this recon, and more that'll be added. Get your pen and paper ready. I have all the details. Then we'll turn to student loan debt forgiveness, the latest details on that. Third stimulus says you can get thousands of dollars across the board today. You want that money, thousands of dollars? Oh, how deliciousness. Then we'll be turning to fifth stimulus. That benefits check is coming in the mail today or this week or last week, 5.9%. But will it be 5.9% next month as well? I'll explain the latest details as well. Then we'll be turning to the breaking news about why the recon may not have been done right now and where the changes may need to get modified. Those details and more coming up after the commercial, coming right up after right now. But first, I want you to go in this video and hit that subscribe button. You're watching LA, the #3 most watched financial news channel in America among print, broadcast, and internet television. I want you part of the incredible family. Hit that subscribe button. Like the video, 2,000-3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. The membership link is under the video. Also, sign up for the LA Alerts, totally free. The link is under the description of this video as well, so you don't miss a video announcement across the board and when it happens. And with that, let's go into the big breaking news about one guy and his impact on your recon. It's a guy you haven't heard on this channel for several months. It's brand new. It's happening right now. And the details are fascinating. What's at issue? Let me explain what's going on. His name you have heard before, Ron Klain. Yeah, I haven't heard that name on this channel since almost January of 2021. He is the president's chief of staff. And in a brand new report today, Democrat analysts on the record, off the record, leading Democrats, moderates, progressives, all are blaming Ron Klain for your fourth stimulus recon not being done yet, and think that it will get done based upon these type of reports coming out. And I believe they will as well. I equate this, and I discuss it more today on Afternoons LA, as sort of like group therapy. If we see there's a problem, a personality issue, if we talk about it and work through the problems, then we address the situation and we can fix it. And this has been under the table, not really addressed for months, an issue. When was the first time we heard about this guy's name? You remember it. When Joe Biden was elected president, and he came in that first week, there was an announcement led by Ron Klain about the things the president was going to do in the first few days. Remember that? It was actually almost humorous, and I made jokes about it. We're doing stamps and the clean air. Remember that? Who wrote all that stuff up? Ron Klain. He wrote that we're going to do clean air, some stamps, and maybe we'll get to the economy. And I said, you ain't prioritizing well, Ron Klain. The series of new report out today says the problem of Ron Klain is two-part: personality conflict, isolating groups of people, and more importantly, prioritizing. Let's go over first prioritizing. This is very important. You know this. This is not a surprise to you. Ron Klain came in with sort of an agenda to do everything, but not figuring out which needs to go first and which needs to go second. We've covered this on before on this channel. Should not have focused on climate, the air. It's been bad air for a while. It has just become bad air yesterday. Should not have focused on stamps the first day. And guess what? The Voting Rights Initiative, which is a very important body of legislation, because guess what? If you want Joe Biden's stimulus, you want to make sure Joe Biden is still in control of the Senate by the end of this year. And Voting Rights Initiative should have been done at day one. It was not done, and it has now failed. And in a quote from, first, let's go over this first quote, from Jesse Jackson, Democrat, possibly more on the progressive side of the Democrats, actually spoke in my commencement speech, for college, says Ron Klain has not prioritized well. Al Sharpton. Jesse Jackson spoke in my commencement. Sorry, I just messed it up. Al Sharpton says, I don't know if his staff or if it's him, but I think that the voting rights should have been done long before anything else. There's more basics than that. Who made that call? I have no idea from the beginning to who the president to the others, but voting rights should have been done for the very first time they came into the door. Absolutely correct. And a lot of people have been analogous to the situation. We feature this on the channel, that the recon, as soon as they finish the third stimulus, they should go on right into fourth stimulus. They should have already started fifth stimulus by now. It's though it's sort of a cluster of confusion. Next, personality conflicts. There's a personality conflict, and there's also an isolationist complex. What's at issue? You saw the cover on the channel back in the November, where Pramila Jayapal, head of the Progressive Caucus of the House of Representatives, she speaks to Ron Klain every single day, adores talking to him. That's good for her, but what's bad on the other side? During the 3 weeks in which I was gone because of hospitalization, there was a lot of very bad quotes out there where Joe Manchin says, all the White House staff does, aka Ron Klain staff, is send out press releases mentioning me, mentioning my family, and using me as a blame for everything. And guess what? Joe Manchin, moderate Democrats, Pramila, progressive. So it's like treating one son in the family really well and treating the other family, the son of the family, like an outsider. Going after the one son, Joe Manchin, and then pandering to Pramila every single day. Doesn't look good. And that is why, among moderate versus progressives, he's isolated people. Next, there is a problem. And the problem is that Ron Klain is literally not handling his personality approaches to the three different groups equally. You have the Republicans, you have the moderate Democrats, and the progressives. And the quotes out today say he basically looks like a incredibly progressive Democrat who doesn't want to talk to anyone except progressive Democrats. And the quote is the following, that this is a quote from a Democratic lawmaker who says of Klain that he was going to govern from the center. Joe Biden was going to govern from the center. He was going to work with Republicans. Joe Biden was going to work with Republicans. But to have a chief of staff in Ron Klain that apparently has decided that he's going to be Bernie Sanders 2.0, I think that's confusing. It's just not very helpful. Meaning that if you want to be an incredibly progressive chief of staff and not respond to moderate Democrats or Republicans, you aren't doing that rule from you're not trying to be bipartisan. And that is why moderate Democrats feel isolated by this White House. Then we have governing issues, which says that middle-level White House administration officials, these are people who work in the White House, they say Ron Klain is like this non-accessible figure that so many people in the White House say, we can't reach out to him, we can't communicate with him. He keeps a very, very tight circle. And the end result is that, as a former political analyst to Bernie Sanders says, that Klain has been disrespectfully infantizing the president by suggesting, oh, he's controlled by his chief of staff. Also really bad. Making it look like from the outside that Joe Biden is controlled by Ron Klain, and that Ron Klain is keeping moderate Democrats from the president, keeping Republicans from the president, and only allowing moderate progressive Democrats to get a voice into the president. Really fascinating. Now, why am I bringing up this quote? Why am I bringing up this news to you? Not to give you negativity, but I think this is really helpful. I think these type of articles are helpful. Why? Because there's a personality conflict. And it's like group therapy. If you don't talk about it, the problem is still going to be there. But if you do talk about it, say, hey, Ron, you're not listening to moderate Democrats. Hey, Ron, you're isolating moderate Democrats. Hey, Ron, you're not listening to Republicans. Hey, Ron, all you do is talk with Pramila all day long. Stop just talking with Pramila. You got other people you got to talk to. Stop feeling like you're isolating everyone else. Now, there was a new quote that came in. I don't have it printed out for you. And you know I'm about to laugh. It was the president of the United States addressing the American people in a press conference yesterday saying, you know what? In view of what's going on, I think I need outsiders to give me insight as to how to deal with things. Outsiders? He basically said, I need some people who are not in the federal government to give me insight as to where things need to go. I don't know who he's referring to. He says, I need outsiders to come on in and say, give me some insight as to why things need to go from point A to point Z, and maybe I need these outsiders. I don't know who he's referring to. But, if you have some freaking flyer miles, just book me that flight. I'll be there in 10 seconds to DC. And it's very, very important across the board. Later in this video, I normally put commentary, but I want to put the commentary in right here. And the commentary is new for today on mornings. There's been three sort of clusters of individuals I've seen in some of the live chats that I want to address. And I've talked to some of the volunteers in private, but I want you to know about it publicly so you know how to react to it. The first cluster is a person who says stuff like, the reason why we haven't gotten our stimulus check is because the UFOs have invaded the White House and they've been parked there for 3 weeks. They just have these hysterical conspiracy theories. And their conspiracy theories are just, they're funny. My reaction to how I think you should deal with these wacko conspiracy theories is just laugh about it and offer them a vinaigrette salad in the live chat. Can I give you a vinaigrette salad? Maybe it'll help the UFOs. So that is how I want you to deal with those type of people. Next type of people, negative. We've talked about negative and positive on this channel since day one. Negative. I want you to try to make them laugh. I want you to try to make them laugh. I think the best way to deal with a negative person is because sometimes people just have a bad day. Sometimes people just have a bad week. Maybe they're having a bad, year. Just try to make them laugh. So if they say something like, Nancy doesn't care about anyone, then say to them, that's because she's still upset about her hairstyle. Try to make them laugh. And if it doesn't work, try another joke. Maybe the joke didn't work. Tell the check to wave at them. If that doesn't work, tell the check to trip them. That is how I want you to deal with them. Finally, the third cluster. The third cluster doesn't belong here. The third cluster is someone that attacks me, attacks you, or attacks viewers. I don't want that person to be around, so if that happens, send me a private message across the board. Next, it's important to understand that the number one guy in the White House, the president, his spokesperson issued a statement in the last few days, says the recon's going to get done, folks. So that's what I'm running with. That's what I'm staying with. Andrew Bates, who is the White House spokesperson, he's not the teal monster. I guess he's the off-teal monster, the muddled blonde monster. I don't know. He issued a quote that says, it's going to get done. And that's all you need to know. Andrew Bates says the Fourth Stimulus Recon, aka the social spending bill or the Build Back Better Act, will get done. So do not worry across the board. How they get these things done and how they maneuver it, it's very, very complicated. It's very, very complicated. I don't want you to think they're dragging their feet. They don't care. They don't work. They don't worry about you. It will get done. And the nuances of how they deal with a situation where they don't have enough Democratic senators as they would like is very complicated. It's very complicated. It's hard to make a recording for you and not to put you to sleep. So I try not to go too in depth about it because it's insanely complicated. But I don't want you to think they don't have your interest at issue. I want you to know that the White House says the recon will get passed. And with that, let's go over to some of the incredible checks in this recon. Then I got more commentary coming up later in this video. And it's actually a very funny commentary. Let's go over all these incredible checks in this recon. And here we go. This recon has about $15,000 of checks before we get to the third stimulus. It repeats itself about $45,000, and before we get to the MSCs, which is a couple $1,000s on top of that. They got $10,000. Currently, you can deduct $10,000 of what you pay in state and local taxes on the federal tax return. They raised it to $72,500 in this fourth stimulus recon on the House side. That's a salt cap. They got in there $40 billion of free job training because it means Americans need a better paying job or need to get another job. Like Ron Klain. They got money in there for Ron Klain to get a job training, so he wants to take a new job. That's really shady, isn't it? Then they got in there the Medicaid gap fix. This is really helpful. It means Americans cannot get medical insurance. And often it's the case of 12 Republican holdout states. So the wonderful Raphael Warnock, Democratic Georgia senator, and Joe Manchin together got a workaround plan that provided years of subsidized private insurance to low-income uninsured people in those states, those 12 Republican holdout states. They got in there $65 per month for nutrition when you're not in school. They got in there the housing assistance, we're going to come back to in a second because it's really great. $550 check for the Pell Grant for my college students, $12,500 for the purchase of a new electric vehicle as well. A lot of the provisions under third stimulus repeated, like The hazard pay, essential workers, the earned income tax credit, all the same thing. Go to irs.gov to learn about how it exists differently under third stimulus. They want to do one more year of it. The CTC, one more year of that as well. That's also on the irs.gov. They got in there the universal pre-kindergarten. They got in there the household tax credit. They got in there the care for elderly across the board. The cheaper prescription medication is very important. This is huge. Medicare Part B, Medicare Part D starts with 20 medications day one, grows into 30 medications by the year 2028. The most expensive lie, cancer, arthritis, diabetes. From $1,000 a prescription to $35 a prescription. It's huge. Which then brings us to the housing. And the housing is just absolutely categorically incredible. Two provisions new, and the others are a repeat from third stimulus. The two provisions that are new are the weatherize your home. Yeah, that's all the Mitch jokes. Is the Mitch lobster shorts to hang them on the front porch. The lobster decorations. Yeah. Then they got the home repairs if you live in a low-income community. But then the other provisions from fourth stimulus that are repeated from third stimulus are huge. Upwards of $45,000. Let's go over it right now. We go over what it is, how you get it this week, how you can get more of it, and why this recording in January is different than the recordings of December. First, we can get rent, utilities, mortgage assistance, and more. Let's go over each of them. The rent, 6 places you can reach out to get that money. City Hall, City House Authority. County Hall, County House Authority. State Hall and State House Authority. 3 must. You must reach out to all 6 places. Number 2, you must get multiple applications in the file. Number 3, you must do multiple rounds. I'll explain what those multiple rounds are in a second. If you remember the newsletter, remember this channel, pull out the newsletter, follow along with me right now because we're going over the newsletter part of this video. If you're not a member, sign up for that membership link. The link is under the video, and anyone that's in the live chat that has an emoji next to their name of a hawk, they are members. Next, you want to get utility assistance from all your utility companies. So reach out to them, ask for utility assistance because of COVID. Viewers are getting upwards of 15,000. SNAP is going to be one of the big legacies of this channel because so many people have gotten it. Mark's brother-in-law is getting $25,000 a year. Reach out to Department of Agriculture to get it. It is money for your food. Nisi and Art Sullivan got 3 items from this channel. They inspire countless viewers to get 3 items from this channel. Now, let's go over rounds and why today's video is so important, and all of today's videos are so important. This channel gets people money. On day 1, I press recordings because people need to get that EIDL grant and EIDL loan and their unemployment assistance. I got viewers $25 million of EIDL loans and grants, saving their businesses' homes, their employees' homes, and their families' homes. People would ask me questions. How do I do this type of the application? How do I do that? And I answer the questions on air. PUA, got tens of thousands of dollars for PUA and FPUC, brand new programs, never heard about them. Show viewers how to get it, saved their livelihood. Then, in fall of December 2020, there wasn't a lot of money out there for rent, but I found it. I got viewers $250,000, and it paid their rent from the winter to the early spring. But when third stimulus came around the corner, in spring of 2021, I looked at it, I said, I think I can get you about $15,000. From this rent and these other items. Viewers did really well. This was the first round. And they got on average about $45,000 for this money. Summer of 2021, I said, let's try to get another round. They got another round. Most viewers got their most recent round in December 2021. We called it Christmas stimulus or Santa stimulus because they got another round. Most of the viewers went $15,000. What does this round at this time of this video look like, and how do you get it? What's going on? You're going to do it the same way you got the prior round. So start with the same place that paid you out before. They say no, go to another place. Remember, we got 6 places to reach out to. How long do you want to get this round for? Shoot for really far out there, folks. Shoot for as far out there as possible. Shoot for May. Can't get May, then try April. Can't get April, then try March. Go as far out as you can. Rent, utilities, and more. Next, start with the organization paid you out before. Can't get it, reach out to the other places. Then lean on the nonprofits that feature in the newsletter. The nonprofits are different in January. Why? Because in January, they're replenished with new sums of funds from those benefactors, those corporate donors every year. So get that money across the board. And you can get this money today. You can get this money today. You don't have to wait for fourth stimulus. Let's start a student loan debt forgiveness and fifth stimulus for a blink of an eye, and then I got some other stuff to go over with you as well. There's a $10,000 offer on the table for the Democrats to forgive $10,000 for student loan debt. The president has offered the $10,000. The Democrats should take it. They shouldn't hold out for more. They can always get more at a later date. Number two, fifth stimulus is coming on in, but it's right behind that COLA raise. It's January. Have you gotten your January benefits check? Look at it. If you haven't gotten it, then get ready for this when it comes. It will be 5.9% more than your December check. SSI, SSDI, Social Security, Railroad benefits, for example. Your February check will be the same as your January check, as will your March, because once your benefits go up, they never go down. This will be your new number. COLA was your benchmark announced in December of last year, meaning you raised up you 5.9%. Fifth stimulus says, you know what, we want to do better for you. So what is fifth stimulus? A body of legislation they hope to start writing up this month seek to do. Remove the asset cap, remove the income cap, remove the marriage penalty. But it also wants to raise your benefits up one time to get caught up, then get rid of COLA and use a new benchmark for next year called inflation. So when they look at your number, your benchmark at the end of this year and use inflation, it's going to give you a bigger lift for the next year than COLA does. Where's inflation going? This is where it gets very important, folks. So pay special attention to this right now. Inflation is important whether you're on benefits or whether you're not on benefits, because I want you to know how this works because it impacts your wallet. Inflation was a number discussed on this channel since spring of last year when we were talking about fifth stimulus. And at the time I told you that inflation will be 8% in December 2021. People thought I was wacko. The Federal Reserve said 1% to 2% transitory, meaning temporary, and it was going to come back down in January. I said, no, I see it higher. Wall Street said 2% to 3%. I said, no, I see higher. I said 8%. I said it was not going to be temporary. Department of Labor will release the number for December 2021 last Friday. And guess who was right? Not the Federal Reserve, not Wall Street, me. It came in at 7.5%, right on the money where I said 8%. Now, most people that are looking at the situation, including me, says it's not going down in January. It's still going to be hot. How do you figure this out as well? The best way to determine inflation is the supermarket, like milk, eggs, or bread. If you go to the supermarket today, and you remember how much you paid for milk 2 weeks ago, if it's 20% more, there's inflation happening. If you go to get the milk 2 more weeks from now, and it's another 20%, meaning it's gone up 40% in the last 4 weeks, there's definitely inflation. That is where you see inflation. You see it first in the supermarket before anywhere else. I don't want to use the gas station because it's impacted by OPEC and world leaders. So I want to use the supermarket. If you see milk, bread, or eggs, very simple things, going up every single week or every few weeks this month of January 2022, you can see the inflation before I report it, before the Department of Labor reports it, because their next number won't come out until the end of January 2022 to reflect on what happened this month. Actually, the February number will come out in February to reflect January number. That's what's important. Number two, there's Omicron is creating its own inflationary event. And Omicron is a very bad inflationary event. What is it? It's very simple concept. You have a staff, 20% is out sick. If 20% is out sick, the employer has to spend more and more money on who's not sick to get the business still operating. And because it's cost the business more for the staffing, they have to pass that cost over to you. So let's say supermarket, 20% is out because of Omicron, then they have to perhaps do something to cover that staff that's out, like overtime for everyone who is able to work. Overtime costs the employer more money. So how do they cover it? They raise the price of bread. Simple as that. And Omicron is not going away for a few more weeks, at least. So this impact on your wallet is going to be there. I want you to gauge it. I want you to send me your questions or comments if you see it or something going on across the board. Next, I cover stuff far before it happens because I want you to be prepared for it. And one of the biggest events that potentially could happen in the next 90 days is an event of world diplomacy that could impact your wallet, as simple as the bread in the supermarket. What's at issue? There's a statement in the financial markets as long-standing, a concept. Act on the rumor, act on the news, or buy on the rumor, sell on the news. A rumor is rumor of an event. The news is the actual reality of what happens. Maybe the rumor was wrong, and so the news is the rumor was wrong. Or maybe the rumor was right, and the news is the rumor was right. But you usually move on the rumor and then act on the news. Here's what is the event that is at issue. I'm predicting that in the next 90 days, you will hear the rumor, whether true or false. Remember, true or false is a rumor, of whether Russia will invade Ukraine. That rumor will manifest itself in something very obvious, like, for example, a statement, troops, movement of machinery, movement of a tank, something like that. A rumor. Again, we don't know if it's news, it's rumor. And that will cause the markets to react negatively. Then come the news that the rumor was false, the rumor was true. What's important to understand across the board is that we need to be prepared for that event. I want you to be prepared for it, whether it is how much bread you're buying ahead of time, whether it's how much gas you're buying ahead of time, whether it's crypto or stocks. It impacts everyone across the board. All right, now if we go into the final minutes of this video with my commentary and something very important for me to discuss with you as well. This channel was launched on day one to help you get money. And I love when people send me messages saying, can you explain me how to get that check? PUA. Do I have to apply for UI first and get rejected for UI to get PUA? You do. Let me show you how. That's what we're talking about, April of 2020. EIDL. Do I call it self-employed or 500 employees or less? What do I call it? That's the type of stuff I'm here for. This channel was never launched as an opinion channel. And so one thing I want to go over with you is that you know this. Most of us know this. But what's important to understand is that this is a news channel. This is not an opinion channel. And some people confuse the two things. Let me give you a more blunt comparison. This is not talk news, meaning what do you think the chances are the team will get into the playoffs from the divisional playoffs? I'm not here for your opinion about that. That is what talk radio does. You call and you say, this is what I think about the team. What are the chances the Cowboys will get in there? I don't know. Ask Tina and Crayola. We are not here for, this is not what I'm here for, to go over opinions, the situation. So if you have opinion, great. But that's not what I'm here for. I'm not here to report on opinions. I'm here to report your news to get you money. If you have questions about how to get money, how to get a program, what do I think is happening with this inflation, or how would this particular check work? Like the first time home purchase, ask me that question. That's what I'm here to help you for across the board. And if you do have an opinion and really feel compelled to express your opinions, get that phone out, press record, and make your own YouTube channel, because that ain't here. That's not what we're here for. Meantime, what's coming up today? A lot of shows. We have a new noontime at 11 a.m. We have a new afternoons at 3 and a brand new evenings at 5. But what's important to understand is that the Fort Simmons Recon will get done, number one. That the provisions will still get added. They haven't got to that point as well. That we have these new comments about Ron Klan, that he has become sort of a personality conflict of the equation. And that his approach to sort of talk more favorably to one of three fractions and not the other two is causing an issue. And the good news is that when you address the situation, it often gets fixed. And with that, I'm excited for you across the board. Thank you for joining me, and thank you for your incredible comments and nice comments for everyone across the land. Coming up at noontime is Home Ally. We're going to have a lot of fun on that. I have no idea what the shows are going to be about. I have 20 seconds to figure it out. It may start a little bit later than usual. And with that, make sure you subscribe. I want you part of this incredible family. Hit that subscribe button right now. Like the video and consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Casino VIP. Stay informed, stay focused. Have a beautiful day across the land. Stay here with LALATE. And don't miss anything that may be significant. If you have questions of how any money gets paid out, send me those personal comments on social media, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. I'm here to answer those questions as well. Stay informed, stay focused. Have a beautiful morning. And the weather is great where I am. I hope the weather is good where you are as well. Stay here, stay informed, stay focused. And as always, stay with LA for more.